Yes guys, welcome back to the channel and back to another brand new video. Today we are going to be doing something to the Range Rover Sport that I've not seen anybody do on YouTube yet. So I could be the first, which would be a first because everybody's already done everything on YouTube. So somebody's already done that before. But yeah, anyway, before we get into it, let me just show you how it looks now we've actually got the wheels and stuff done, because it absolutely looks incredible. Like it's absolutely transformed it. What do you think? Do you think black was a good choice? Some of you lot who didn't make it to the end of the video on the other one, because I know it was half an hour long, and don't worry, this one's not going to be any shorter because this is a how-to video. What do you think? Looks hard, don't it? Just need to get that other side step off. But yeah, today I've been graced with, thanks to the guys down at CarPlay Direct, a Mr. 12 volt system. I'm not sure if you can see the logo, but so today we're going to be installing that in here. Am I going to follow the instructions? I don't know. I don't even know what you get in the kit. Let's just nip inside and have a look, and then we'll come and we'll figure out what we're going to do. I thought now might be a good time to mention that if you want to get yourself one of these, I'll leave a link in the description below, and you'll be able to get a bit of a discount using my link. Okay, let's go. So what do you get in the kit, I hear you ask? Well, we're going to have a look now because this is brand new, unopened, just touched with my dirty, greasy hands. So this is, I could only assume, the brains of the operation. There you go, it says on the back there, L320. So we've got that. This looks like it's going to be a difficult one. You get some motherboard chips and tape connector things, some optical cables, some more cables, and some more cables, and a user manual. I suppose we better rip the dashboard out, I guess. Let's go. Honestly, I've already psyched myself out about this. I hate to say it, I know it always goes wrong, but how bad can it go? What I'm going to do is I'm going to move my car so it's not blocking in my other vehicles, and then that way, at least if it goes really bad and something really goes bad, then we'll be fine. Right, let me get this car moved, and then we'll get on with it. Wish me luck. Right, let's start with what tools you're going to need to do this job. First thing you're going to need is a T20 Spax bit, basically. I've got them on an Allen key for fixing windows and doors and stuff, but you can get them in your general screwdriver / Halford's toolkits. All of the bolts are T20. Happy days, what a guess. Right, just need to move some bits. I had an issue here. Will she start with no dashboard in? Basically, in a nutshell, you need to have the car in neutral. I had it in park, and then I couldn't remove the center console out the way to get to the two hidden bolts that are holding the CD player in. That's a good start. Right, so now, should in theory, there we go. There we go. Right, so remember guys, oh my god, when you do this, if you do this, you never know, you might not want to tackle it, but put the car in neutral, that way you can get the center console out easier. I mean, to be honest now, I should have just done this to start with, to be honest, but I make the mistakes so you don't have to. Yeah, so remove the CD player from the hub. Okay, right. Let's go inside, take the head unit in, and we'll start building it. Right, so we've bought the system inside now, so I've just got to basically take apart the brain now and wire in a spare chipboard to the motherboard. So let's get on with that. All I've got to do this is my trusty thing from my Halford's exhaust, not my Halford's exhaust, my Halford's advanced toolkit. So I'm going to unscrew some of these screws and see how we go. It's a PH1 Phillips screwdriver piece. You might be better off with a magnetic one. This one wasn't magnetic, so it was actually a pig to get the screws back in. But basically I started off just unscrewing all the screws and taking the cage off from around the stereo to reveal the motherboard.
and I was just having a look, working out what went where, because the instructions weren't really instructions at all. They didn't actually have it for the Range Rover Sport L320, but it's pretty self-explanatory. The tapes that they send are pretty much identical to the tapes that you take off, and in a nutshell, you just fit them into the hole. It's like Lego, really delicate Lego. This is the Mr. 12 volt motherboard that piggybacks onto the screen and basically takes power from the original nav unit. So yeah, we're putting the tape, I don't even know if they're called tapes, but tape wire thing. And yeah, it all connects in together. It's quite fiddly, but not, I had pure anxiety doing it, but it wasn't too bad, to be honest. And then you fold it over, and the cage actually has space, basically the spacers on the motherboard that you get from Mr. 12 volt. So they slot in, and then basically you line them up with the holes, and then you get a cable that has to plug onto that as well, and then you have to feed the wire through the cage. It's actually quite easy. The hardest piece you'll get to, I'll show you. You'd probably need a pair of pliers to do it, but I did it with an angle grinder and just cut a little square out. But yeah, I'm just feeding the wire through, plugging it in. Is it the right way? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe. Yeah, that's the right way. I think, anyway. At this point, I'm like, oh, I hope all these tapes are in nice and tight, because if it doesn't work when I come to actually plug it in, I'm going to be fuming. But yeah, so I folded that all in, ran the wire through, started putting in the screws. One thing I will say is don't get too carried away putting the screws in, because you may have to take some out to put more in. The screen, you'll see, you have to fold it over on itself to get the tapes into the new locking positions, but it's all pretty self-explanatory. That folds over, and then you just need to waz some screws in the side. Don't get too carried away, like I said, because you'll end up having to take some out like I did. Like that. And yeah, and then the back of the cage goes on. This was the piece I was talking about, where I had to get the angle grinder out for the piece, but you should just be able to bend it over with a set of pliers. I also gave the screen a wipe because it was absolutely disgusting behind, but as you can imagine, after 15 years, there you go, that's my cutout. And then the wire just feeds through. You could zip tie it, but I didn't. It doesn't come with a zip tie, but you probably could do with a little one just to stop it pulling out the back, because if you really yanked it when you was trying to install it, you just got to be extra careful, to be honest. The strange thing about it was, I put it all back together, and obviously you get 3 longer screws to go through the spacer, and I actually had 3 extra screws left over, and I couldn't work out where they came from. But why does it always happen whenever you do an install? Right, I don't know if I should be having my celebratory can of Monster yet, but I think I've built it. Will it work? I don't know. I guess you'll have to wait till the end of the video to see. I've just got to work out where I'm going to route my cables now, because I've got to mount this Mr. 12 volt somewhere. So I'm going to have a look where I can mount it. I'm going to get the stereo. Maybe it'll just fit behind. I bet it won't. Oh, I've probably got room down here. Yeah, I think I'll do that. I'll route it down here. I didn't end up doing that. I tried. Luckily the camera wasn't recording, because I absolutely flipped my lid. So I had a little 5-minute break, and then I came back and I decided to route it under the steering wheel on the right hand side, as you will see now. When I looked on Google, I couldn't find absolutely anything at all in regards to installing an Apple CarPlay unit into the L320. But what I did see is that it said guide time 1 to 2 hours. This actually took me around 4 hours. Please, if you do want to see me mess up more jobs, make sure you like, comment and subscribe. I think if I'd have had some sort of instruction to follow, I perhaps would have done it within the 1 to 2 hour limit. If you see where I went wrong, and just pretty much copy what I did, because I cut out most of the bits where I went wrong and just pretended it didn't happen. So, after a whole heap of absolute fuckeries wiring all this in and getting all the wires ran through. This is the moment of truth. It's not looking good, Brev, because we seem to be froze on the Range Rover screen, but I'm going to try turning it off and back on again. Yes, we know the gearbox ain't in park. I'm not trying to start the car, I'm trying to turn it off. Hopefully, we can get this thing working, and if so, we can screw it all back together, put all the clips back in. It's concerning me that screen has not gone off yet, but we'll see. Let me try opening the door and going back in. Not got high hopes. Why is the screen still on? Why are you still on, Brev? It's not worked. Let me undo all this and see what I've done wrong. I don't think I've done anything wrong. This should be working, but I don't know. Right guys, I forgot an important thing. There was a little bag and it had a double-ended connector on it that goes under the passenger seat, and basically I have to pull out the fibre optic cable and basically make it do a loop on itself to make it trick. I still don't know if it's going to work, but fingers crossed. Are we ready? Dear God, please let this work. My rear wipers come on. Hey up, we're on. We have got radio, so that's a good start. We've got DAB. Have we got Apple CarPlay? That's not Apple. Ooh, how does this work? This is good. Click back. CarPlay. I think we're on. Let's try this. There's no way this is just going to work. There's no way. Come on. It fucking works! Right. Mind blown. It actually worked. Right, so I'm going to piece all this back together. Do you not really want to watch me do that? I don't think you do. I'm going to piece it back together and then I'm just going to show you the finished product at the end. But as much as I said it was difficult and it was a 15 out of 10, it was just my mistakes. But if you just don't do what I did, you should be absolutely fine. Put the gearbox in neutral before you start, etc. It's not absolute rocket science, but no, wicked. I'm well happy with that. I've got Waze. Happy absolute days, Waze. No, seriously. Shout out Liam at CarPlay Direct. I'm going to leave a link in the description to get yourself one of these. It's not that hard, to be honest. It's just fiddly. The hardest part, honestly, was getting the dashboard out. Other than that, it was pretty self-explanatory. It didn't come with an instruction manual. That's the only thing I will say. But it is pretty self-explanatory.
There's nothing like saving the most vital piece of information till the end. The optical cable that you need to unplug and fold over onto itself is located under the passenger seat, not the driver's seat. I didn't know where it was, but after a bit of Googling, I actually found it. And the harness and stuff was dead simple, and it was actually not too bad at all. And now we have fully functioning Apple CarPlay.
So that is that. Apple CarPlay is installed in the Range Rover Sport. Difficulty, 9.5 out of 10. But if anybody wants any advice when it comes to doing it, get at me in the comments and I'll assist you in the best way I can. If you like this video, make sure you like, comment and subscribe. See you in a bit.